Hello, everybody. I'm NKN. I'm currently Grandmaster 2, and this is my tier list based off of my experience so far in Comp and Marvel Rivals, and let's get into it. So, first off, if you didn't know, in Diamond and Above, there are 4 hero bands, uh, 2 for each team, and I'm just going to go ahead and put the 3 most common bands in the band section, which is going to be Hawkeye, Hela, and Psylocke. No one wants to play against these 3. It's pretty boring. Hawkeye just has kind of like a one-shot spam. Hela is Hela. Absolutely terrorizes lobbies. I think in any elo, the better Hela player almost always will win the game, no matter what. Overtuned hero. And Psylocke, also highly annoying to go against. Not only does she have insane like burst damage, but her ultimate is just, it's not too bad, but press Q, and assuming they do not have a Luna ult, they're pretty much dead. These 3 are banned, so I'm not gonna really go on about them, but I will start with some heroes that are not played often and are seen as overall like pretty fucking bad. So in C, I would put Iron Fist, Jeff, Storm, Charlotte. I kind of want to put Spider-Man and Squirrel Girl, although maybe on the lower B tier side. I'll put maybe Widow here too, temporarily. But yeah, so Iron Fist, yes, he terrorizes quick play games. He probably terrorizes low elo as well, but in higher elo, he's just not good. He's either going to die before he gets the chance to either fight, or people just know how to shut him down quite easily. Haven't really seen him played much, and when he is played, it always performs very badly. Um, just not really a good hero compared to others. Jeff, also not that great, provides pretty low utility for the team. The heals aren't bad, but I mean, his hitbox is pretty big. He's really easy to hit shots on. So everyone on the team can look at Jeff and click once and he's dead. There are a few players who still like to play Jeff in high elo, but they have to ban like Luna, or they have to ban, other supports. Um, Otherwise, they just don't really stand a chance. Storm, hardly see her. I feel like I've only played against her a few times total, just lacking overall. Scarlet, also pretty bad. She can be killed out of her ult, or slept, or stunned, frozen, whatever. She's pretty slow, and she has to be relatively close. So in high elo, she's mostly dead. There are a few players who still like to play her. You kind of have to play around her a lot, but she's really not that good. When there are other options, for sure. Widow, also same. Decent third DPS for confirming kills, but that can also be hard. Can't one shot, which isn't a huge deal. Maybe it's a good thing, but she's not really played that much. She doesn't have really good escape. She can just get either run down or out spammed. She doesn't have consistent damage. So unless she's insane and like, constantly getting picks on the back line, nothing's going to happen. We will do Wolverine, Spider-Man, and Adam, maybe? Squirrel Girl and Adam. Wolverine, he's melee. He's annoying to deal with, but not impossible. And I don't know, he's okay, but I think oftentimes, unless there's There's a strat of like grabbing the enemy tank and putting them into your team to like burst them down quickly. But kind of easy to deal with. Freeze them, sleep them, burst them down. Not too crazy. Spider-Man, also kind of a niche pick. Not a bad hero, but I don't see them winning too many games, to be honest. Not that great. Maybe in a more of a full dive comp, but I don't really see him played. I don't think he doesn't provide a lot of consistency for the team. Squirrel Girl, she could be maybe high C tier. She's really map dependent. Maybe I'll put her high C tier actually. Squirrel Girl, she does have pretty good damage. Depending on the map, she can definitely like spam hallways and make it incredibly hard to push. But she's really easy to dias. And one thing, in brawls, when things are, up close in team fights, she doesn't really do too well. And other ranged heroes are just kind of better. And Adam in B tier, he's definitely not a bad healer, but when you have like Luna, Snow, and Mantis, he's good for his reses. He's good for his team up with like Star-Lord and stuff. If the Star-Lord wants to, consistently flank and, be revived. His heals are decent, but you don't really see him played a lot. The only time he is played is when like Luna is banned. That is pretty much it. For A tier, I'm going to do Magic, Loki, Iron Man. Maybe he might be more B tier, depending also on the map. Punisher, Rocket, Venom, Thor, Cap, and Penny, and Hulk. It's a lot of people in A. Magic is, I would say, assuming Psylocke is banned, she's probably one of the just better melee heroes. Actually, she could be really high B tier. Probably one of the better just melee heroes. She's tanky as hell. Played a decent amount, and the people who do play her, we'll do low A tier. The people who do play her in high elo are definitely, really excel at the type of play style she's supposed to have, which is very brawly. She gets her shields. She becomes so tanky, can deal very consistent damage in brawl fights. So I'd put her A tier. Loki, good, great DPS, great heals, but also really his ultimate. Sometimes he will just be played like if, like there's a Luna ban or something, but Loki is really good for just turning around fights, whether it's copying, even if the enemy team has a Luna or you have a Luna with Loki, you can have 2 Luna ults, or, you can have 2 tank ults. You can really do a lot and turn around fights. His invincibility is very aggravating to deal with. It requires, attention to either kill the clones or kill the crystals or shoot the crystals to deny that ability. But in team fights and other things, it can be really hard to do that. He's not played a whole lot, but he's played enough and definitely makes games difficult. Pretty good healer. Iron Man, kind of map dependent, but very good. Good damage output, high mobility, very annoying with sneaky pulse bombs. But again, map dependent. On maps people do play him on, it can be pretty hard to deal with, especially assuming like Hela is banned. Star-Lord is a good counter to him, but if no one plays Star-Lord, then it makes games difficult. Punisher, very consistent damage. Shotgun absolutely destroys tanks, especially when paired with Rocket. Super solid DPS. You can almost play him every game, but that also kind of depends on you having a Rocket. If you don't have a Rocket, that might be hard, but overall, very solid DPS. His ult is really good for forcing ults out of the enemy team, and if not, it shreds. Rocket, very good kind of just sustain healer. He doesn't have a lot of, burst potential for heals, but he can he can just consistently pump out heals. His team up ability is really good. His respawn is, annoying to deal with. His ultimate is also very underlooked, I feel like, especially, probably in lower elo games and quick play. His ult is really good. Your team will just do massive damage. Venom, dive tank, really not that bad. It just kind of depends. Thor might actually be above, but actually Cap would be above Venom. Actually Penny would be above Venom. Not bad. Actually Hulk would be above Venom. Is Venom B tier actually? Maybe Venom is actually B tier. Not bad, but it just kind of depends maybe on the map and like your teammates and the characters they are also picking. Very excellent dive tank, or maybe A, I don't know. It kind of depends. Not bad at all, but definitely just okay. Thor, very high damage tank, especially if Strange or something is banned, then Thor's pretty good. Outputs a lot of damage, really good at brawling. Cap, also pretty good. Good at brawling, good at being in the enemy backline. Has very high mobility and survivability. Very annoying to deal with. A lot of Cap players kind of just like ent into the backline and arguably get away with it more than they should. Honestly, pretty decent tank. Penny, great, but map dependent. On some maps, certain choke points, she's really annoying to deal with, especially when you can't kill her nest. Very annoying. However, on maps that she's not good at, she's also really terrible. I don't know if that should make her B tier, but assuming it's on a map that she, is a choke point that she's good at, pretty good tank, solid. Her ult though is kind of lacking. Hulk kind of just is an ult charge for the enemy team. However, good Hulks have, insane survivability, insane mobility, very good consistent damage, and annoying to deal with. They get in, they get out, they get in, they get out. Like you kind of have to like deal with the Hulk. Like you have to, shoot at the Hulk, but that means you're not shooting at other people. So solid tank, has weirdly a very high skill ceiling, I think, despite it being kind of maybe more a simpler tank. And for S tier, we will have Black Panther, Cloak, Strange, Groot, Luna, Magneto, Mantis, Moon Knight, Namor, Star-Lord, and Bucky. These are probably the heroes I see most often played. You'll see them a lot. They are all just, especially without these three, they're just really solid heroes. Black Panther, good Black Panther players are absolutely scary. They are terrifying. They will destroy your backline in a few seconds, and it's like you don't even know what hit you. They keep hitting their resets. They can just dive in, confirm a kill, get more kills, or just get out as if like, nothing happened. Probably the best melee hero. Also assuming Psylocke is banned, although she's not really melee, she's ranged. Very solid. Cloak and Dagger, great healer, great support with her cloak utility. Although I think people don't understand that you can't shoot, or it cancels it, at least for you. Her ult is really good for choke points and sitting on point, contesting point. I think Luna Mantis is still probably just the hard, like, quote unquote meta, but Luna Cloak is also insanely good. Strange, arguably the best tank. He has a stun as a tank ult, which is insane. So, Strange will just fall down and Agamotto you. His shield has a lot of HP, or a decent amount of HP. He has mobility and a shield, and a stun, and can actually do some pretty good damage with his little AoE burst. Sometimes Strange is banned because people don't want to deal with him. Also, portal strats are really big. Definitely one of the best tanks. Groot, also insane tank. His walls are annoying. It forces you to need consistent damage, and if not, depending on the map, playing heroes that can take angles. Not the best survivability, and he's like really slow and big, but the walls are insane. You can trap enemy tanks quite easily, wall off choke points, and his ult is, you know, a team stun or a team root. Very good. Luna is arguably the best healer in the game. Her kit is insane. She has very high sustained heals. I mean, she can, and burst heals. Insane healing output. She also has a stun, a freeze. She has her ice guard, so she doesn't even have to be healing the. She can be healing a tank and a DPS at the same time if the DPS is on flank. And her ultimate, I mean, she can technically die in her ult with like Magneto ult, but I mean, typically when a Luna ults, nothing is dying. Often it's like Luna versus Luna, so it's just like 20 seconds of neither team dying and just like building more ult charge. But definitely, I think objectively the best healer in the game at the moment. Magneto, insanely strong tank with good bubble management and shield. I mean, it is pretty hard to actually kill a Magneto unless you kill his backline first. His ult is also really good. It can be dealt with, especially if you have like a Punisher. You can just like, it depends. If you can have enough time to cancel his ult, although that can be very difficult, but very solid tank, pretty good damage output too with the knockback. Strange and Magneto, really good duo. Magneto Groot, or Magneto Hulk or something. Very solid, very good tank. Mantis, excellent off healer, can output insane damage while keeping teammates, up. Her heal isn't the best, but it balances out in terms of you can, slap on Inspire and a heal and then help, just put in damage. She'll always be behind Luna in terms of overall heals, but she will also have, twice as much damage. She can confirm kills, and her having a sleep is busted on a relatively low cooldown. Her ult is okay. It's definitely not a Luna ult, but it does, keep the team alive, and she's pretty mobile, so that helps as well. Very good. I think it's 2 headshots for a kill on like a support or DPS, maybe 3, but very, very strong off healer. Moon Knight, incredible DPS, very, very good against slower comps like double shield, like Strange Groot with his onks. I mean, probably one of the most annoying characters to go against right now in Grandmaster or top 500. A good Moon Knight player is just very annoying, to say the least. His ult does a lot of damage. It's not the best, considering you can just kind of walk out of it if you're able to, but very consistent damage. Can farm ult really easily. Makes it hard to push a lot of choke points. Namor, really good Hawkeye replacement, especially with his little octopus creatures or whatever. Pretty consistent damage, especially on maps with tighter spaces. Can just be chunking tridents. Headshots do a lot of damage. Ult can one-shot, and if not, knock people down. I see him played a lot, especially with like Hawkeye and Helagon. Star-Lord, very, very great flanker and duelist. It is insane that his magazine is 40 bullets, I think. but you don't have to reload. You can backflip and have another 40, and then backflip again and have another 40. Very high DPS. His ult is really strong. Oftentimes, it can become who has the better Star-Lord will win. Kind of depends on the map a bit, but a good Star-Lord player just absolutely dominates the lobby. Very, very strong DPS. And then we have Bucky. Great damage output, small magazine, but I mean his bullets do hurt, and you know these players are hitting headshots, so lots of damage coming out from Bucky. Good pick potential. Also can pull enemies into your team, can help deal with tanks by punching them, can slow people. And then his ultimate is just hard to either mess up. I don't play him a whole lot, but in these games, I mean, typically when he gets his ult, it's a team wipe. Insane ultimate, very good DPS. So that's my tier list. Every hero is good in their own right, but you know, with and against players who are aware of the roster, aware of, you know, the maps, the game mechanics, the game strategy. Oftentimes, you know, you don't see, you really only see S tier and A tier played. Otherwise, you just don't see BC and band tier. Hopefully that kind of changes eventually for some more variety, but essentially, I mean, you can expect S tier in every single game pretty much in Grandmaster, and then depending on the map and the player, some people from the A tier. But yeah, that's it. Those are my thoughts so far, and yeah, thanks for watching.